we're referencing a house that I went to that a customer, his daughter was making a statement. Maybe it was political, maybe it was women's rights, I don't know. But she showed up near naked after already having a conversation with me, then proceeded to show, yes, we've had this conversation. She showed up in the nude. Or very skimpy, however you want to take it. So I'm asking Eric if he will drop off these parts back to the customer's house, and he can just leave it in the mailbox, whatever, however he wants to take it and leave it. But he's given me every excuse in the book, literally. Oh yeah, I will. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Oh, okay, maybe tomorrow. Okay, I got something to do. And now it's just, nope. No.
Not on Sunday, the day off, the day of closed business, our holiest of days in which we must labor as little as possible.
Labor.
It's a red day of rest. Not supposed to work hard.
Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. It was a funny thing. I was like, on your way home, but then I'm like, okay, maybe he's not going home because he's got D&D tonight, which is tabletop. So he's got his own things going on. Try not to interrupt that. I'm like, well, if you leave your house tomorrow, you're a stone's throw from the nude woman.
I don't want to be near no nude women. No customers, nah.
It's not technically a customer, it's a customer.
No customers or their immediate relations.
Could have been a wild time. Who knows? There was a bust for another ring of child labor issues. Now, when I tell you child labor, what would you assume when you think of child labor?
When people talk about child labor, I assume exploited teens, and we're not talking 1900s or 1800s, year 5 factory job. Don't tell me we got a bunch of tots and knots like up in here.
So it turns out it's not a foreign country. Like, China uses child labor in some places, and so does other countries. I'm not going to go into the list of it all. But the ones that I know for sure, like China, some foreign Eastern countries with different companies. But one of the best that I've ever seen was it's not over here in America because it's actually fucking Alabama. So a Hyundai subsidiary, Hyundai of all places, which you would assume is made overseas, has used child labor at Alabama factory.
The factory where they assemble cars?
Yeah, basically their subsidiary in Montgomery, Alabama, according to area police, family of 3 underage workers and 8 former and current employees of the factory. Underage workers as young as 12 have recently worked, and they built cars and all kinds of other things. It looks like they made a statement, does not tolerate illegal employment practices at Hyundai entity. We have policies and procedures in place that, comply with local laws, etc. It turns out that these kids were part of a family. A girl who turns 14 this month, her 2 brothers, ages 12 and 15, all worked at the plant early this year, were going to school, according to people. Weren't going to school. Their father, Pedro Z., confirmed these people's account in an interview with Reuters, whatever you want to call it. Adopted hometown enterprise that Reuters, the girl and her siblings, had worked at Smart. The police had helped locate the missing girl, and at the time, their search identified their name in public alert.
Missing girl? Was she kidnapped?
That's the problem.
Or did she run away from home?
That is not in the information yet. So the idea, when I think of this, I'm like, okay, they got a ring of like people in Texas or something like that. They say American. You would assume migrant workers, right? Okay, need a quick buck, family of 5, whatever, working in the back of a taco shop, however you want to say it. Great. Alabama, though? Hyundai?
That's not one of the states that you usually think of this for.
How the fuck did they get away with it?
Because it's Alabama.
So now they're all in school, apparently. Several of these minors, they said, had forgone schooling in order to work long shifts at the plant. A sprawling factory with a documented history of health and safety violations, including amputation hazards. Most of the current and former employees who spoke with Reuters did so on condition of anonymity. Reuters is unable to determine the precise number of children who have worked at Smart Factory, what the minors were paid, or other terms of their employment. The relevation of child labor at Hyundai's U.S. supply chain could spark consumer regulatory and reputational backlash for one of the most powerful and profitable automakers in the world. In a human rights policy posted online, Hyundai says it forbids child labor throughout its workforce, including suppliers. Sure. Consumers should be outraged, says David Michaels, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, with whom Reuters shared the findings of its report. They should know that the cars are being built, at least in part, by the workers who are children and need to be in school rather than risking life and limb because their families are desperate for income. There is something that, like it says here, way too young. I'd let my kids work at 7. They can have a paycheck in a home business or whatever. Like, you can put them on payroll,
if it's a strictly family thing.
Yeah.
They're going to school. They got good grade, regulation approved by school. Like, there's rules for that young.
It's a tax write-off. It's a tax haven. That's it.
Yeah.
They're
letting you
13, 14 to get them their own credit. They got borrow, pull, whatever. You can milk this system. It's not just this is a fucking travesty that somebody, not their father.
It sounds like someone scooped these kids up and were they picking them up from
maybe they got them
school?
hired and then split the check. Yeah. That'd be the smart thing to do. Hey, you work, I take half your check, you make a bunch of money.
The kids are going to love
$200
a week. Oh my God, that's so much money.
It looks like they were charged almost $50,000 in the last year in fines and penalties.
Yeah.
Smart in court documents called allegations of the suit baseless and meritless for a class action lawsuit. Smart and several staffing firms who help supply workers with U.S. visas. Lawsuit filed with the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of Georgia on behalf of the group of about 40 Mexican workers. That is 40. Alleges some employees hired as engineers were ordered to work menial jobs instead. That is sanitation, all kinds of crazy shit.
Can you fucking imagine working on your whatever the Mexican equivalent of Hyundai is? You fled the country for your reasons, drug crime, whatever it is. You come to America, you go to Hyundai to get a job as an engineer. They hire you as an engineer, and then they give you a jumpsuit, a mop, and a cart, and they're like, perfect, get to work. Like, that would be.
So apparently there was a manhunt for Alvaro Cucul, 21, another Guatemalan migrant and smart worker around that time, whom Z believed she might be using cell phone geolocation data. Police located Cucul and the girl in the parking lot of Athens, Georgia. The girl so there was somebody that was helping them. She would go to work with the mother and then, kind of bounce off. But after the disappearance that generated local news coverage, Smart dismissed a number of underage workers, according to 2 former employees and other local families in the plant. The sources said that police attention raised fears that authorities could soon crack down the underage workers. So somebody in the department knew. The father once worked at Smart and now does odd jobs in construction and forestry industries. He told Reuters that he regrets his children had gone to work. The family needed any income it could get at the time. He added, but now it's trying to move on. That's all over now. He said the kids aren't working, and in the fall they'll be in school. Stay in school. Don't be a fucking fool. I don't care where you're from. Like, you get the idea that a lot of these migrants want jobs. And then on the other side, a lot of people are like, they take our jobs. They took our jobs. Fucking South Park caused that problem.
Yeah.
This goes to show you that it's anyone, anywhere. Desperate people in these times. And especially, apparently, the father couldn't get a job there, but the 12 and 13, 11-year-olds can.
Because they're working for so much less, I bet.
I think there had to be something inside. And if they're going to only get $50,000 fine for what they're saving on whatever penalties, they had to be paid cash. Or,
if you hire 10 kids, it's like hiring
supervisor. Who's giving them fucking cheese and crackers? It's nap time. Like, there's got to be a sweet, a treat, something. If you didn't believe that there were underage workers and labor camps like this, I'm going to call it a labor camp in Hyundai. I don't care if Hyundai knew, but this Smart facility absolutely did. And there's people out there that need to be busted.
Yeah.
If anyone ever sees a 12-year-old working, especially in a fucking plant, if you're 3'5", I don't care if it's a small person, a dwarf, whatever they want to call them, check their age. Just saying, it's annoying, but don't assume they're all just little people. There's probably 500 people that walked through these people and never said a fucking word.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the. Do you ever watch the Phineas and Ferb show? Mm-hmm. Aren't you a little young to be doing this? And they're like, blah, 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 something. And everyone just shrugs and goes about their business. It's probably what's been going down.
This is despicable. I couldn't believe it.
No, that's crazy.
All right, everybody. Hit the share. We appreciate you. We'll see you later.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past, but knowing me, my DeLorean will probably crash.